When remaining the same becomes more painful than stepping into the unknown, you reach a crossroads moment. The Scorpio blueprint was created for that moment. This is a guide for the ones who have given too much, carried too much, and stayed too long in places that ask them to dim their fire. It's for those who learn to survive by shrinking, pleasing, or abandoning pieces of themselves just to keep the peace. Deep inside, you already feel it. You're standing on the edge of profound change. Something in you is preparing for a shift, a genuine transformation into a life that feels aligned, grounded, and true. This blueprint is yours. Across these chapters, you'll uncover the patterns that kept you stagnant and begin replacing them with choices that honor your energy, your truth, and your capacity to grow. You'll learn to speak with more clarity, hold boundaries that protect your peace, and move with a steadier sense of inner value and direction. This is not a shortcut, this is a reclamation. It's a return to the kind of strength that doesn't need approval, a return to the kind of clarity that can walk away when necessary, a return to the kind of life that rises from the inside out. So take a breath, settle into the moment. You've arrived at the threshold of who you're becoming. Let the Scorpio blueprint lead you into the transformation already waiting within you. This video dives into part two of step five of the Scorpio blueprint. Walk away with your head held high. Don't announce it prematurely. Once you've decided, make your plan quietly. Get your affairs in order, line up your resources, and create your exit strategy. Don't tell the person or situation you're leaving until you're ready to actually leave. This isn't deception, it's protection. People have a way of talking you out of decisions that don't serve them. They'll promise to change. They'll gaslight you into thinking you're overreacting. They'll use your compassion, your loyalty, your hope against you. Don't give them the opportunity. I made the mistake once of announcing I was thinking about leaving before I was actually ready to go. And the situation I was leaving suddenly became everything I'd been needing: attentive, apologetic, present, promising. So I stayed. And within weeks, everything went back to exactly how it was before. Because the change wasn't real, it was a performance designed to keep me hooked. When I finally left for good, I told no one until the day I walked out. I packed my things, I made my plan, and only when everything was safely away from their orbit and ready did I have the conversation. This protected me from manipulation. It protected me from my own tendency to cave under the pressure to be more compassionate. It protected my decision. When you leave, leave completely. No looking back. No, maybe we can be friends. No checking their social media. No responding to their attempts to pull you back. Make a clean break. Complete severance. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. Half leaving keeps you tethered to what you're trying to escape. It allows room for manipulation, guilt, and false hope. Maybe you're a Cancer, and the idea of cutting someone off completely feels brutal, unnatural, wrong. You're a nurturer. You maintain connections. You believe in second chances and keeping doors open. But some doors need to be closed and locked. Some connections need to be severed completely. Not because the other person is evil, but because the relationship is toxic for you. Maybe you're a Libra and you want to leave gracefully, maintaining harmony, keeping everyone comfortable, even in the end. You want to be friends. You want closure that feels mutual and peaceful. But sometimes the most peaceful thing you can do is leave without looking back. Some relationships don't deserve a gentle ending, they deserve a final one. Maybe you're a Pisces and you keep one foot in because you can feel their pain, their loss, their struggle without you. Your empathy makes complete severance feel impossible, but their pain is not your responsibility. Their loss is not your problem to fix. Their struggle without you is exactly what they need to grow on their own. Leave completely, for your own sake, for theirs too. But expect the extinction burst. When you try to leave, things often get worse before they get better. The person you're leaving may suddenly change, make promises, pull out all the stops to get you to stay. Psychologists call this an extinction burst, a last ditch effort to restore the old dynamic. Don't fall for it. People who can change, who will change, who want to change, they don't wait until you're leaving to do it. This is manipulation dressed as transformation. When I left that relationship, they suddenly became the person I'd been begging them to be for 2 years. They wanted to talk about my feelings. They wanted to work on things. They cried. They apologized. They promised that they would change. And the old me, the people pleaser, the one who believed love meant endless chances, almost stayed. But I had learned something crucial. Real change happens because someone wants to grow, not because they want to keep you. Real transformation happens in private, over time, through consistent action. It doesn't happen dramatically on moving day. Someone's sudden transformation wasn't real. It was an extinction burst, a last attempt to reel me back in. I said no. I left anyway. And within a week of me being gone, they had returned to exactly who they'd always been. Because the change was never real, it was strategy. So grieve, but keep moving. Leaving will hurt even when it's right. Let yourself feel. Cry, rage, mourn for what you hoped it would be, but don't let grief pull you back to what hurt you. Forward is the only direction now. I grieved hard after I left, not for what I'd lost, for what I'd never had, for the relationship I'd hoped for the person I had wanted someone to be, for the version of us that only existed in my imagination. I let myself feel all of it, the sadness, the anger, the relief, the fear, the freedom, all of it, without numbing, without distraction, without running. And I kept moving forward. Every day I did one thing that affirmed my decision. I unpacked a box in my new place. I had coffee with a friend. I meditated. I journaled. I took long walks in neighborhoods I'd never been. Grief tried to pull me back, but I kept choosing to move forward. Refuse to justify your decision to other people. People will have opinions. They will tell you to try harder, give it more time. Remember the good times? They mean well, but they're not living your life. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. This isn't working for me is a complete sentence. A friend asked me repeatedly why I left. What had she done? Was I sure I wasn't going through a phase? Couldn't I give it another chance? My friend meant well. She was worried about me. But her questions implied that I needed a good reason enough to leave, that leaving required my justification, that choosing myself required defense. It doesn't. I'm not happy. Is reason enough? This isn't good for me. Is justification enough? I deserve better. Is enough reason. You don't need anyone's permission to leave. You don't need anyone's understanding. You need your own conviction, and that is all. Here's what happens on the other side of walking away: freedom, space, peace, the opportunity to discover who you are when you're not constantly managing someone else's emotions or needs, the chance to rest, to heal, to rebuild, and yes, sometimes loneliness, sometimes doubt. Sometimes you wonder if you made the right choice. You did. Every single time you choose yourself, you make the right choice. The poet Naira Wahid wrote, "And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I've been waiting my whole life for this." Your whole life has been waiting for you to choose yourself, to walk away from what diminishes you, to stop betraying yourself for people who would never do the same for you. Walk away with your head held high, not in arrogance, but in self respect. You're not running, you're choosing. You're not giving up, you're letting go. You're not being selfish, you are being wise. The first few weeks after I left were disorienting. I kept reaching for my phone to text. I had forget. I had forgotten that they weren't there anymore. I would wake up sometimes confused about where I was in my life. But slowly something else emerged: quiet, peace, the sound of my own thoughts, the luxury of doing exactly what I wanted without considering anyone else, the freedom to be completely myself without editing, performing, or shrinking. I started remembering who I was before I lost myself in that relationship. My sense of humor returned. My creativity awakened. My energy came back. I realized I'd been living half alive, and I'd become so accustomed to it that I'd forgotten what fully alive felt like. Walking away gave me my life back. Not the life I had before, something better. A life where I knew my worth, where I had boundaries, where I chose myself without guilt. The life you're meant to live waits on the other side of your willingness to leave what's wrong. So, walk away, my friend. Your future self is waiting, and you are magnificent. This is Scorpio's Sun and four other placements signing out for now. Thanks for joining me for Step 5, Part 2. If you like this content, show me in the likes, shares, and comments. I'll be back for Step 6 in the next video. Until then, stay grounded, stay open, and most importantly, stay yourself.